This isn't therapy. It's exposure. What you're about to see was never meant for public eyes. Because once you understand this, you can't go back. The collapse file doesn't soothe you. It rips off your emotional mask and forces you to meet the real you. The version that doesn't beg, doesn't break, and doesn't belong in a padded room. The system labeled it dangerous. But danger is exactly what most people need. Because if this method works on you, you won't just heal. You'll become spiritually untouchable. There's a method almost no one talks about. Not because it didn't work, but because it worked too well. It was never part of standard therapy. You won't find it in psychology textbooks or clinical training. Why? Because it didn't just help people feel better. It shattered their mental framework. People who used it didn't just heal, they transformed. Fast, violently, permanently. And that's exactly why it was buried. They don't want you to know this, but there's a reason you're still stuck. You've tried therapy, read the books, done the breath work, but your patterns haven't changed. Because most healing methods aren't built to free you. They're built to stabilize you, to keep you functioning just enough. But if you're tired of managing symptoms, if you're tired of being told healing takes time while your life quietly rots beneath the surface, then you need something deeper. Something that doesn't hold your hand. Something that rips off the mask. That's what this file was about. Psychological method created by a group of practitioners who saw through the noise. They weren't interested in helping you cope. They were interested in collapse. Collapse of the false self. Collapse of the roles you play. Collapse of the stories that hold your identity together, because underneath it all, there's a part of you that isn't broken. It's just buried under everything you built to survive. Most therapy keeps the mask intact. This method tears it apart. They don't want you learning this, because once you see the truth, you stop depending on them. You stop being manageable. You stop playing along. That's when you become dangerous to the system, to the patterns, to the parts of yourself that want to stay numb. In this series, I'll walk you through the exact process they tried to hide. It's raw. It's intense. It's not safe, but it works. If you're done pretending, let's begin. Because once you collapse the lie, you don't rebuild the same. This isn't therapy. This isn't breath work. This isn't mindfulness. This is collapse. You're not here to regulate emotions or process childhood wounds slowly over time. You're here to rip the mask off and see what's underneath. The collapse method was created for people who were done surviving. People who knew the strategies weren't working. People who saw the pattern and wanted out. This is that method. And here's how it works. The collapse method operates in 5 structured stages. Each one is designed to strip away a layer of your false identity until all that remains is truth. Identity mapping and destruction. Emotional flooding, the void experience. Authentic reconstruction, ongoing. Integration. You can't skip a step. You can't half do it. This isn't an intellectual exercise. It's an emotional one. Let's begin. You've spent your life constructing a persona piece by piece. You built it to survive, to get approval, to protect your core from pain. Now, it's time to tear it down. Most people don't have a personality. They have a defense system. The collapse file. Get a pen and paper. Not a laptop, not your phone. Going to write like your life depends on it because your false identity does. Yourself, who would I be if I could? Never mention my achievements again? Strip away your accomplishments. Who's left? Which traits of mine are designed to make people like me? Kindness, humor, intelligence. How many of these are just tools for safety? What belief systems did I absorb just to belong? Religion, politics, morality. What did you inherit to avoid rejection? What parts of my personality feel controlled? What do you hold in place daily just to appear stable? If everyone I knew forgot I existed tomorrow, what would I finally allow myself to feel? Now take those answers and burn them mentally. None of it is real. It's a prison built from praise, pain, and survival instincts. The collapse begins the moment you stop defending the lie. This is where the walls fall. Most people have never felt raw emotion without numbing it, explaining it, or controlling it. Emotional flooding is a full-force method that short-circuits your coping mechanisms. You don't ease into it. You let it hit. Go somewhere private. No distractions. Set a timer. 20 minutes. Pick a memory that still haunts you. Close your eyes. Play it back in full detail. Don't analyze it. Don't journal it. Feel. Let the rage, grief, helplessness, and shame move in. Now, the twist. Don't isolate the event. Pull the thread. Let it connect to every other time you felt that same pain. Your heartbreak becomes every abandonment. Your rejection becomes every time you were ignored. Your shame becomes every moment you felt worthless. Let the wave crush you. You're not breaking down. You're breaking through. Your body may ache. You might cry, scream, collapse. That's the point. Flooding is controlled. Emotional collapse. It ends decades of suppression in minutes. Most people never heal because they process slowly and protectively. This method overwhelms the system and forces a reset. It's not safe. It's not regulated, but it's real. After the flood comes the silence. Not peace, not clarity, emptiness, no motivation, no identity, no purpose. Good. This is the void. Most run from this stage. They panic. They rebuild. They pretend it's over. Don't sit in the silence. Sit in the stillness. Let the nothingness become familiar. This is the death of the identity that was never really you. Ask yourself, what if nothing I believe is true? What if I'm not important? What if life is meaningless and I've been distracting myself from that fact? What if the fear I avoid is the doorway to total freedom? Now breathe. Don't fix it. Let it expand. You're rewiring your nervous system to tolerate the unknown. When you stop needing the world to tell you who you are, you finally get to decide for yourself. This is where real power starts. Now that your false self has collapsed and your mask is gone, you choose what comes next. But not from habit, not from fear, not from imitation, from honesty. Most people rebuild the same self over and over because they never question its parts. This step is conscious identity construction, not positive thinking, not affirmations, sovereign self-design. Yourself, am I choosing this because it's safe or because it's mine? Would I still be this way if no one approved? Does this trait serve truth or image? This This a mask or a mirror? Now build. Slowly. You don't need a perfect identity. You need a real one. The foundation of the new self. Truth over comfort. You say what you mean. Feel what you feel. No performance. Rejection is survival. If staying real costs people, it's worth it. No fixed identity. You evolve. You change. You hold nothing as sacred except your awareness. Peace in the unknown. You've already collapsed. You've already faced the void. Nothing can threaten you now. This is the person you were supposed to become, not the one you were trained to be. You did the collapse. Now comes the maintenance. The old self doesn't die quietly. It returns in stress, in routine, in safety. You'll want to rebuild the lie. You'll want to pretend again. Don't mourning protocol. Ask yourself, what lie am I slipping back into today? What emotion am I avoiding? Am I choosing ease over truth? Where am I betraying myself just to keep the peace? If the answer feels uncomfortable, you're doing it right. Warning, collapse is not a one-time event. It's a lifestyle. Every time a new layer forms, every time you begin to play a role again, you collapse it again. And again until truth is your only identity. Collapse isn't destruction. It's rebirth on your own terms. You now have the full method. It's raw. It's dangerous. It's not meant for everyone. But it's yours now. And what you do with it is your choice. You were never taught to think. You were conditioned to obey. But if you've started questioning the script, if you felt that cold awareness rising inside you, you're not crazy. You're waking up. That's what Whispers Black Laws was built for. Not to inspire you, but to rewire you. 10 laws they'll never teach. Because if they did, you'd become psychologically ungovernable. If you're ready, click the link in the pinned comment. You've done it. You collapsed the false self. You faced the emotions you spent a lifetime avoiding. You sat in the void, and for the first time you saw reality without your mask. But here's what no one tells you. Collapse is the beginning. Reintegration is the war. Because the world you collapsed in is still running on the same lie. The first problem. The world didn't change. You did. You'll walk back into relationships, jobs, conversations, and routines. But everything will feel different. Not because they changed, but because now you see them. You notice the masks people wear. You feel the inauthenticity and small talk. You see how much of society runs on insecurity, performance, and fear, and it makes you question, how do I stay real in a world that's still fake? That's the real collapse, not just internal but social. The silent danger, slipping back. After collapse, your nervous system will beg for familiarity. That means you'll be tempted to rebuild the old self. Stay quiet in rooms that demand fake agreement, shrink to fit others' expectations, pretend again just to avoid friction. This is what the original file warned about most. Reintegration. Rule 1. Never go back to comfortable lies. You'll get tired of being misunderstood, tired of being the only one who sees clearly, tired of being told you've changed, and not in a good way. But that's the test. People will try to pull you back, not because they're evil, but because your transformation threatens their stability. When you collapse, you become a mirror. You reflect what they're avoiding in themselves. That makes them uncomfortable and you dangerous. Reintegration Rule 2. Protect your energy with precision. After collapse, you don't owe anyone access to your new self. That includes friends who only relate to the old you, family members who dismiss your growth, environments built on performance instead of truth. Choose carefully, not from anger, not from judgment, but from clarity. If they can't handle your real self, they don't get it. Reintegration Rule 3. Build an identity you can abandon anytime. You'll want to define yourself again. That's human. But this time, do it without attachment. Choose roles, traits, beliefs that feel true for now, but remain fluid. If you can't walk away from your identity, it owns you. Stay loose. Stay flexible. Let yourself evolve without apology. Micro-collapse. Protocol. Daily ego interruptions. Stay sharp. Practice small ego deaths every day. Here's how. 1. The mirror. Stare. 1 minute. Stand in front of a mirror. Stare directly into your eyes. Say nothing. Don't blink. Don't look away. Watch what comes up. Insecurity, shame, fear. Let it hit. Don't flinch. This retaches your brain to face discomfort directly. 2. The identity swap test. For 24 hours, violate your usual role. If you're always agreeable, say no. If you're always reserved, speak first. If you're always logical, express raw emotion. This destabilizes your identity and forces awareness. 3. Silence room. Spend 15 minutes daily with no phone, music, talking, or stimulation. Just sit. Let the mind scream. Let the discomfort rise. Observe. This keeps the ego from rebuilding distractions. 4. Seek rejection. Do one thing per week that risks social discomfort. Ask for something bold. Speak an unpopular truth. Disagree when it counts. Not to create conflict, but to stay immune to approval addiction. 5. The no rescue rule. When emotions rise, don't escape. Don't call a friend. Don't scroll. Don't drink. Don't explain. Just sit with it. Let your nervous system rewire itself in real time. You'll come out clearer, stronger, colder, in a good way. After collapse, emotional clarity becomes your default. You don't react out of fear. You don't need to please. You don't chase. You calculate. You observe. You decide. Most people respond from pain. You respond from presence. That's the new power you carry. Collapse isn't the end. It's the start of a life most people will never touch. You've walked through psychological death. You've come back stripped, exposed, real. Now your job isn't to feel better.